Alright, so this is going to be my short Nidhoggur video of things I've learned from listening to other people rat and watching videos online. So here's my fit for review. Boom. That's a requirement. 2 of these. Missing a rig, no big deal. I have all T2, no faction. I got this on here because I got an extra spot. The build I had 2 of these, but I only got 1. It doesn't really do anything. I don't even know why I have it on there. I had a 10,000 MN afterburner, but I don't know. I really don't see that to be helpful at this time. My fighter bay, I'm using Templar ones because my skills are low. So as far as skills go for a carrier, we'll go over that real quick. Oh yeah, DPS is right here. It's not bad. It's not great, but it's way better than a VNI, which is my standard ratting ship. Alright, so for skills, let's pop this up. Bam, that's me. So when you go under here and you click on, oh yeah, I'm using a Nidhoggur, I don't know if I said that. So when you use a Mimitar carrier, you literally just go click on that, and it tells you all the skills to sit in it. But the big one it doesn't have is fighter drones. Fighter hangar management. You want that to level 4. And the reason why you want it to level 4 is so you can use these. Because that's 6% for everything. That's 5. And that's 5.5. So, yeah. I like it to... Oh, son of a bitch, I hit the thing. Anyway, you want fighter hangar management to level 4 before that benefit. Right now, I'm training some other stuff. Some of the things you forget about when going into capitals for the first time, it's going to be like your capital repair system for armor and shields. And that's so you can use the capital size shield boosters. Oh, what the hell am I doing that for? Anyway, I'm not a genius. And then so you can use the T2 capital shield boosters, things like that. And so the requirements for these are going to be repair systems, hull upgrades, and mechanics 5 for like capital armor repair. Shield is usually what you go with when you're doing ratting because it allows you to put all these things down here in your low spots. Alright. So I am somewhere in the drone lands and I'm going to go to this random horde site. And I'm going to warp in at 100 is the most common. Sometimes I warp in at less. But honestly, I really don't think it matters. Some of the things we'll go into while we're moving. I'm going to go open up my settings window. So something you got to do is make sure you set up your shortcuts. Go over to fighters. This is how I do it. Everyone can do it differently. Select all, recall all. And if you look at this, so like launch all, or was it recall fighters, is all fighters is 1 on my number key, and then 4, which is directly above it on the number key, is just recall the selected fighter. And then launch all fighters, 2, recalls 1. So I tried to make it make sense to me. And then if I want to select the tubes, 1, 2, and 3 is 7, 8, 9. You know, as you can see here, it kind of helps. I don't micromanage it to that level, but some people do. So this is what happens when you hit 7. And then now that's fighter selected, you hit 8. Now 1 and 2 are selected, and then when you hit, you know, tube 3, all 3 are selected. Now if you hit one of the tubes again, it deselects them. You know, and then you got select all. I don't think I have a deselect all. What's that button do? Okay. So launching all fighters is pretty useful. Some people micromanage individual fighter tubes. I don't. I literally just keep them together and do it that way. So this is awesome. This is I do need to move that over just a little bit. I can't see my... There we go. Okay, so now I'm here. Turn this bad boy on. Launch my fighters. Launch my fighters. There we go. And then I start selecting stuff. So this is not really an ideal site for carriers because it's turrets. So you actually make less money. I don't really care. I just do whatever. So as soon as I land, I get that going, and then I immediately align to my align out. Oh, I forgot to turn on that. So make sure all your mods are on for your fighter support, and then so you want to make sure you're aligning out. Are they attacking? Okay. So you want to make sure you're lined out so that if someone jumps in local, like you can look, oh you can't see it over here, but yeah, if someone jumps in local, you can be like, oh crap, it's a newt, and you can jump out. And then when you recall your fighters, they will come back to you, so you don't even have to worry about that. If I wasn't talking, normally I would have hit F2 to use the micro warp drive for all my fighters, so they would have actually gotten there relatively quick by comparison to what they're doing. So, like I said, I keep all my fighters grouped. I'm just going to talk you through some stuff while I do this. These are light fighter 1s, Templar 1s. So, when you're looking at them, you got abilities, which kind of shows you their damage and other stuff. And then you have your attributes. I'm not really a genius on fighters, man. Other people are a lot smarter, but that's how that looks. Once they get within range, you may have to hit the F1 button again, because I just did F1 to get them down there. But the goal is usually to have fighters too, and as you can see, that's a 46-day train up. So it takes a hot minute. And that's with all +5 implants in, which normally you should not rat with your +5 implants in, but if I lose this carrier, it's going to be to a bubbler and, you know, whatever. I'm going to be broke. Here's your fighter bay window. I like to keep this open while ratting, so that when my fighters get damaged like this, I can recall them, and if I lose a fighter, I can reload it. Normally people keep more fighters in there, but I'm not too worried about it. So far, I've only lost, I don't know, like 4 or 5 fighters. And they're kind of expensive out here at like 4 mil a pop, but, you know, no big deal. For every fighter I lose, like if I lose a fighter a sight, I lost 4 mil out of the 30 mil tick I just got, so it's not too big of a deal. So one of the things you want to do, it's not so important with the turrets, because as you can see all the turrets just target me. But that's going to be, you want to have them orbit your target until you can get a chance to have them engaged in case your cannons are on cooldown. And as far as priority targets, I keep it pretty standard in that I keep it small to big. You know, because I'm not really worried about the small things getting me. I just don't want them to web down and mess up my fighters, because then my fighters take damage. And then like right here is when it'd be most advantageous to not have them grouped. But yeah. Oh man, I just had a phone call from the wife. So that's something you never want to do. You know, not pay attention to your guys while they're working. So just so you can see, that's what afterburners look like. They really move. They move pretty fast. Here's what your rockets look like when you hit F3. You get a nice burst. As you can see, the damage was pretty substantial. You should be doing enough damage to where you don't have to worry about launching a second volley, but you never know. So I'm going to kill these fighters, and then these battleships, and then I'm going to leave, because I got to get to work. So yeah, so when you engage in ships, you know, your dudes will automatically orbit, but sometimes you're waiting for the cooldown right here, and that's not good for their, because they need to continue to move in order to not get damaged. I mean, EVE 101, increase transversal to reduce incoming damage. So you constantly want to have them orbit while you're waiting for. So this is about as hard as it gets for me. Like, a lot of people do this differently. Like I said, they'll switch these up into tubes. I keep them all selected all the time. It's just how I like to do it. Shoot a preference, you know. But yeah, so bam, lasers, one shot, rockets, one shot, significant damage. So rockets are pretty freaking awesome. And then once I get it right about there, once I get about half, I'll try and have them orbit the next target, so that you know, they can start moving. And this will heal if they don't take any damage. It'll actually heal over time. So I'll show you what I'm looking at. So one more shot, and then I'm going to orbit a different target that's still pretty close, so because it's going to take them a second, and that thing's gone, but they're already moving away, maintaining that transversal. And then bam, I'm going to shoot rockets again, because like I said, I'm going to get out of here as soon as I get done killing these. Let's make sure I am aligned to the correct structure still. I missed my orbit on that one. So now I'm going to go look back at my ship. So this is why a lot of people do 100 off, so that you're out of range, your carrier doesn't take damage. I don't care if my carrier takes damage, because I'm keeping an eye on local. And I'll use my hotkey for return, use my micro warp drive to get these boys back fast. So if you space out, you can see they move pretty quick actually. Yeah. And then when they come back in, they reload rockets. That's what the refueling is, and also the repairing. No big deal. And then let's go ahead and do this off screen maybe. How about over here? There we go. No, whatever. So we'll just go to the Fortizar then. Oh, you can see it anyway. Who gives a shit? Yeah, I'm new to doing this, so you know, work to be done. Work to be done. Oh yeah, and so for this I use the optimal range script to increase their firing range so they can shoot at targets further out. You can also use the tracking speed script. So in my ship hangar, I have both. It really just depends on what you want. Some people say tracking speed, but my fighters haven't yet to miss anything. You gotta think these are like 9 frigates essentially in here, doing pretty awesome damage. Yeah, so I don't use the tracking speed script. If I was going to do some PvP with this, I'd probably use tracking speed script, but I'd probably have a much different loadout. Well, not much different. I'd definitely have 3 rigs on, though, instead of what I do have. Well, that's all for today. If anyone has any questions or comments, post, and I will amend or make a new, better video. Thank you.